stands for Leslie Headland's The Acolyte are completely melting down after it was reported that the show has been canceled and will not be getting a second season. It also comes after Nielsen released their most recent viewership data that shows that the Acolyte's season finale, or at least the week of the Acolyte season finale, had the worst viewership of any live action Star Wars show released on Disney Plus to date. And these people are not handling this well at all. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Roll this up over at thatparkplace.com. And so we did get this report from Deadline's Nellie Andreeva that the show has been canceled. She wrote this: the story of the Acolyte will not continue, with Lucasfilm opting not to proceed with the second season of the Star Wars offshoot starring Amanda Stenberg, sources tell Deadline. The report came after Nielsen released its data for the week the Acolyte's series finale aired. The show only managed to garner 335 million minutes watched. That was less than the 2-episode premiere, which brought in 488 million minutes watched. And just to be clear, Nielsen tracks data for all episodes of a show. So you're getting people that were binge watching the show, watching episodes 1 through 8 in that 335 million minutes. And it is still less than how many people watched the 2-episode premiere. That is absolutely atrocious. That is how badly this show performed. And as I said, it has the least amount of minutes watched of any live action Star Wars series finale on Disney Plus. Not only did we see these Nielsen numbers, but they do look similar to what we see based on the number of reviews over on IMDb. You can see that here IMDb has 26,000 reviews for the first episode, where the finale only received 11,000. In fact, if you go and look at the IMDb ratings, you can see it only had a 4.1 out of 10, and the plurality of them were 1 out of 10. What is it, 45.8%? And if you look at the unweighted mean there, it is actually a 3.7. So people didn't like this show. They weren't watching this show. Very easy to understand why this show was getting canceled. People just weren't watching it and they didn't like it because it sucked. But people that are infected with the woke mind virus, who are or describe themselves as Acolyte stans, whatever you want to call it, people that seemingly like this show, but they only like it on a superficial level because of the skin color of the people that are in the show, are not happy about it getting canceled and are lashing out at people celebrating getting canceled. People like me. And we have this person here writing this: genuinely insane to me, by the way. F the racist, sexist people who couldn't share a single brain cell and turn an eye away to what they didn't like, except that they did turn away. They didn't watch the show, and that is why it's getting canceled. The review bombing and harassing that so many committed without even watching, insane to me. Hashtag renew the Acolyte. So obviously here, having a complete and utter meltdown doesn't even make any sense, saying that people couldn't turn away when they clearly did, given the fact that the viewership was so low. If you even go back, I think you look at the 4th week of the show, it didn't even make Nielsen's chart. It was below 298 million minutes watched. That's how poorly this show was performing. Here's another person saying that they believe the show had incredible viewership. I mean, these people are living in a delusion. The show did not have incredible viewership. We just went over that. Nevertheless, this person wrote this: I need to hear it from Star Wars themselves, and they need to explain why they're canceling the only show with a predominantly non-white queer cast that had incredible viewership from audiences that would never have tuned in to Star Wars previously. So again, claiming that the show had incredible viewership. That is clearly not the case. We have a number of pieces of evidence showing that. You can even look at Lucasfilm's own press release and see how poorly the show was doing compared to things like Ahsoka. But then again here, obviously admitting that the only reason why you like this show is because of the quote-unquote diversity, the skin deep diversity, the non-white queer cast. So they are liking it for the sexuality of the characters and the fact that they are non-white. That's the only reason why this person even says she likes the show. She or he likes the show. Another person wrote this. Also, this just fuels the toxic side of the fandom into thinking if they hate on something enough, they can get it canceled. This is not a W for the community. No, they're not watching. We're not watching this garbage anymore. For the most part, people have just tuned out, and that is why this got canceled. The viewership was atrocious. It has nothing to do with people hating on it. People are done hating on it now, and they've just moved on with their lives. They're not even watching Star Wars. You have to remember, this show is on Disney Plus when it has the highest subscriptions in the history of the streaming service, and it has the lowest number of minutes watched for a Star Wars live action show. That is how terrible this is doing. People that are subscribed to Disney Plus are not watching this, and they spend $180 million on the show. It's an absolute failure. They did not bring in any subscriptions. They probably lost subscriptions when they released this show. This person here says, canceled over misogyny and racism. By the way, because this could have easily been some of the best current Star Wars content we're going to get. Yes, the Walt Disney Company, Lucasfilm, who is running racist marketing ops, is canceling a show over misogyny and racism. We've seen this company run numerous ops. Obi-Wan Kenobi, they were attacking Star Wars fans, saying that the criticism of the show was because of racism. We saw the same thing here from Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland at the very beginning of the marketing campaign for the show, and they did a whole interview with the New York Times attacking Star Wars fans. No, Lucasfilm isn't canceling this over misogyny and racism. The people that they are accusing of misogyny and racism are done with them and are not watching, and people like yourself just aren't showing up and watching it. There aren't enough of you. The power of many didn't watch the show and left. That's what happened. The user also wrote this in another post. Star Wars content been the same boring blaster pew pew media for years, and we finally get a show diving into Jedi Sith lore, and y'all get it canceled because the lead isn't a white man. So there you go. This person is clearly a racist and is not happy that the show was canceled, and is saying that it is because it doesn't have a white male lead. Well, you know what? Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't have an episode, season 2 either, and that has a white man. So what are you even talking about? Makes absolutely no sense. But again, these people don't think logically. They live in delusions, and their whole mind has been infected with the ideology of racism, and that if you're a white person, it's automatically a bad thing. If there's white people in it, it is bad. That is what these people literally think, and they tell you this right here in posts like this. Another person says, yay, the idiots won. We've got this person here, J. Tim Suggs. Massive day for incel YouTube channels with under 10,000 subscribers, making the worst clickbait and problematic videos you ever seen. Thank you for the content, J. Tim Suggs. I do have less than 10,000 subscribers, and we will have a very fun, I think, thumbnail on this. Hopefully, it gets lots of people to click on it, and we can get that. We can get over 10,000 subscribers. As far as the incel claim, I'm married and have children. So, and I think a lot of people that criticize the woke ideology are married and have kids as well. So, always projection, right? Confession by projection with these folks. George Sheard wrote this, review bombed by idiots who pray to Wikipedia Legends articles from day one. One of the most interesting and new Star Wars stories in recent years. What a shame. It was not review bombed. That is the narrative that Leslie Headland was claiming. People literally did not like this show, and they made that very clear. And they stopped watching too. All the data reflects this. This idea that it was review bombed is utterly ridiculous. It is a lie. It is a gaslight, because this show was garbage. People didn't like it, and they stopped watching. We have the evidence. We just covered it. It's all there. Nevertheless, these people live in delusions, and they're trying to gaslight you. They're trying to lie to you to get you to live in the delusion with them. No, we live in reality. The Acolyte was transformative, and I'll never regret supporting and screaming about a show that made so many women, queer people, and POC feel seen in a narrative that is normally so white and male-centric. The cast and crew created something beautiful and something loved. Again, you see here more evidence that all these people care about is this skin-deep diversity, that being anti-white, anti-male is all they literally care about. It's all about promotion of woke ideology. This person here says the Acolyte getting canceled because incels couldn't handle a sexy black girl and sexy Asian man serving evil, villainous romance. Again, we see the identity politics is the reason why these people are lashing out, and then using the pejorative of incels again, despite that clearly not being the case. Scotty Holiday wrote this. So this is how creativity dies, with thunderous applause. There was literally nothing creative in the Acolyte. It was not imaginative. It ruined the lore. It changed the lore of Star Wars. It was absolutely awful, but we will be cheering it dying because it deserved to die, because it was such an anathema to Star Wars. So we will indeed cheer that, and it will get thunderous applause. This person here wrote, the Acolyte being canceled is just another example of toxic internet hate. The show never got a chance to breathe, and half the people hating on it never even watched an episode. It's not my favorite piece of Star Wars content, but it certainly didn't deserve to be axed. It 100% deserved to be axed. It was trying to subvert morality. It was trying to portray the Sith as like these good people and the Jedi as these terrible, incompetent individuals. Absolutely atrocious. You listen to the interviews from Leslie Headland. She's literally inserting herself in like almost all of these characters. She's basically trying to do a therapy session through the show based on the issues she has with her sister. I mean, it's completely and utterly bizarre, something that Kathleen Kennedy and the people at Lucasfilm, the people at the Walt Disney Company never should have allowed to happen, yet they consistently do. This person here said the effing Mandalorian and that dumb baby got 3 seasons and a movie, and you can't give the Acolyte one more final season. And then this has like this whole video of this person like just going through all of these terrible states of like depression here. I just took a screenshot, but absolutely awful. You see how many people are liking these posts and stuff. So these are lots of people freaking out about this. I mean, just having complete and utter meltdowns. Here is a Blue Recon 17. If you are celebrating the cancellation of the Acolyte, you are not a real Star Wars fan. Here are some of the comments on Amanda's most recent post. Absolutely pathetic that people think this kind of harassment is ever warranted. You can see some of them are just like, thank you. This show is canceled. One of the worst things to come out of Disney Star Wars. The power of one, the power of two, the power of real fans got this show canceled. Hope you save that Disney check. Canceled. All that talent couldn't save this series from being so crappy. Can't wait for season 2. So is season 2 canceled because the show sucked, or because everyone is racist? I don't even really see why these are that big of an issue. You have to remember that Amanda Stenberg decided to attack the fans in a diss track, accusing them of being racist. And so now fans are celebrating the fact that the show is canceled, that she does not have the Star Wars platform anymore to accuse them of racism, falsely accuse them of racism. And this guy is upset that people are actually defending themselves. Utter ridiculousness. Illogical, doesn't make sense. But this is what they always do, right? They try and play victim as they punch you in the face. It's pathetic. And let's just get to the point of this here, right? While many of these individuals are blaming so-called incels, which this is all fake. These are all lies. It's not true. Incels, racist, and sexist. Showrunner Leslie Headland made it clear who should get the blame if the show fails. This is what she told the New York Times ahead of the show being released to Disney Plus. If it doesn't succeed, it's because of me. That's really scary to think about. So all of these people trying to lash out, melting down, just posting unhinged things. At the end of the day, the person who's really to blame is Leslie Headland, because she's the one who made the show that no one watched. Those are my thoughts on this. Let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but to always speak the truth.